UFC on ESPN, Luque vs. Muhammad 2 takes place this Saturday, April 16th. We're going to go through and give our prediction on this fight. We're also going to talk about what this fight means for the welterweight division and just talk about the top 5 of the division as a whole. Starting with Vicente Luque, the silent assassin is on a 4-fight win streak, earning 2 performances of the night and 1 fight of the night award. Belal Muhammad's on a respectable 6-fight win streak. Some notable wins for Vicente Luque are over Tyron Woodley and Michael Chiesa, and notable wins for Belal Muhammad are over Damian Maia and Stephen Thompson. Vicente Luque stands at 5'11", while Belal Muhammad stands at 5'10". Vicente Luque has a slight reach advantage, sporting a 75.5-inch reach, while Belal Muhammad has a 72-inch reach. Vicente Luque is known for his impressive finishing ability, holding the second highest finish per win percentage in the UFC history. Vicente Luque has won 19 of his 21 wins by finish, 11 of those being knockout, 8 of those being submissions. Belal Muhammad is very well rounded, he has decent striking, and has a really controlling wrestling game. While not being a finisher like Vicente Luque is, he's only won 5 of his 20 wins by finish. He's really well at controlling his opponents and dictating where the fight takes place. So how do each of these fighters get this fight won? For Vicente Luque, I think it's pretty straightforward. Look to emulate their first fight. Apply that pressure he's known for putting on his opponents. Look to get Belal Muhammad backed up against the cage, and then make sure he cuts off angles so Muhammad can't escape. Use leg kicks to slow down Muhammad's mobility, and that way he'll have more of a stationary target to throw his shots at. Keeping Muhammad against the cage and at striking distance will also make it difficult for him to be able to clinch Luque and hold him and control him against the cage or even take him down. I also think if Muhammad does happen to get a takedown against Luque, we've seen out of Luque how strong he is in those grappling exchanges, especially in wild scrambles. In his fight with Michael Chiesa got Vicente Luque down to the ground, and he was able to roll and switch the position and ended up getting a really nice Darce choke and ended up finishing Michael Chiesa. For Belal Muhammad, I think it's a little tricky. What he's got to do is constantly be mixing it up. He can't sit still and build a repetitive pattern or rhythm to his game, because if he does, Luque is going to find an opening and expose him. If you look at their first fight, one of the problems was that Belal Muhammad committed to a trade with Vicente Luque and paid for it. He got knocked out as soon as he tried it. So he can't do that this time. He's got to be moving around. Footwork is going to be key. One of the things we saw in Vicente Luque versus Stephen Thompson, a bout in which Vicente Luque lost, was that Stephen Thompson was able to capitalize on a lot of the movement and capitalize on being able to catch him with quick strikes and never sit still afterwards. He didn't commit to trades. He did not commit to exchanging with him. And in the moments that Stephen Thompson did, he did get caught for it. So Belal Muhammad has to constantly be moving, constantly be looking to catch Vicente Luque at angles, and just generally mix it up, striking and grappling. But don't commit to anything for too long, because that's where Vicente Luque shines. Even though both fighters have increased in a lot of skill since their first fight, I still see it playing out the same way. I think Belal Muhammad, although he does have improved striking, has a tendency to still be willing to sit in the pocket, and that's something really dangerous to do with somebody like Vicente Luque. We've seen it time and time again. People who sit in the pocket with Vicente Luque go to sleep. They just do not last long. That's what happened in their first fight, and it's what I think will happen in this second fight. So what does this fight mean for the rest of the welterweight division? Well, the top 5 is pretty jammed up right now. You've got Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. We're waiting for their title fight. You had Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev just go to war in one of the greatest welterweight bouts of all time last Saturday. So Khamzat and Burns are probably both going to be out for a little while recovering. And that leaves Vicente Luque and Belal Muhammad in a very weird situation. It seems like the UFC really wants to put Colby Covington and Khamzat Chimaev together, and I get it, it's a big money fight, but honestly I don't see why they just don't put Khamzat in there right away. It'll help with the rest of the division, and it'll just keep a line of contenders running. They could put the winner of Vicente Luque and Belal Muhammad against Colby Covington, and that'll solve the whole problem with Colby Covington. If he loses to either one of them, well, he's not getting the next title shot, and if he does beat one of them, well, there you go. The rest of the division just isn't ready for Colby Covington, which means they definitely aren't ready for Kamaru Usman. So I think really the only option for either one of these guys is to either fight Gilbert Burns next, or to fight the loser between Colby Covington and Khamzat Chimaev if the UFC does make that fight happen, and if they make it happen quickly.